crickets. Whoa, take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. We would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Saville, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket.
Welcome to guerrilla cricket. Things look a bit dire for England on day 4. Or day 9, if you're counting the pitch, of course, in Multan. They will have to score the highest total they've ever made, or the highest successful run chase that they will have ever achieved in Asia. They were set 297 to win by Pakistan, and things didn't begin well. 36 for 2 in 11 overs. Both Crawley and Duckett found ways to get out back to the spin attack. 7 of them, remember, for Pakistan. 261 England still need, and the pitch is turning. There was talk of heavy rollers if they could get it fired up and actually working. It broke down yesterday. I know how it feels at this time in the morning. Right, those previous run chases, if you just wanted to know: 209 for 5 versus Pakistan, 1961. That was one of them. Ted Dexter got 66 not out, and I think Peter Richardson got nearly 50 odd. They did make 209 for 1 versus Bangladesh in 2009. Century for Cook, 109 not out, and Peterson 74 not out. The highest ever, by the way, is Sri Lanka in Pakistan, 220 for 8. They managed to achieve to win. That was back in 2000. I'm going to be joined to see where England get to, and whether we're all going home early, or whether we're going to be achieving an unexpected triumph. From the weather cave, the eternal messages.
I'm already home early.
You're
I'm looking forward to the afternoon off so I can mow the lawn.
You can oh, really? Do you have to send the sort of the geese an early warning to go? You better get off, or else I'm going to roll over you with a great big lawnmower.
When the ride-on mower fires up, they know.
Oh,
they
right.
know,
No one wants to see a goose go through a rotary blades of a giant sit-on mower. And not mowing his lawn, but looking resplendent in his baker's cap. It is the Mersey mouth himself, Gary. Morning, Gary.
Yes, it is morning, isn't it? At least I think it's morning. It might still be last night, but it's probably morning. Yes, I hate to say this, but we might be in for a crucial first hour.
We are.
Again?
I'm not going to play that. They're all crucial from now on in. Gary, 36 for 2. Again, you felt England yesterday were both trying to take the game to Pakistan. They were looking to push forward. They've just was it the right thing to do, or have they just left themselves a bigger challenge?
It was right and wrong at the same time. You know, the paradox of cricket. If it was straightforward, then we wouldn't be talking endlessly at sort of 6 a.m. in the morning UK time. If it was easy and straightforward, it wouldn't be called Test cricket and all of that. So the paradox is, in the long run, England will win, as they have proved empirically over the last 2 years. England will win more Test matches than they lose by playing this positive brand of cricket, going after wickets, going after runs. So in the long run, you want them to play like that. But in the short term, you really, at least I really did want them just to have a look, just to give the bowlers the first 20 deliveries until they've got the pace of the pitch. And I want them to do that this morning as well. I want them to give the bowlers the first 20 deliveries. Just get the feet moving, get the hands in coordination, get the head over the ball, all those things. And then they can start to open up and do what England do, which is not just hit bad balls for 4, but hit good balls for 4. To have started trying as Ben Duckett did, so he was still on 118 not out, was inviting trouble, because these players can bowl. And trouble shook hands with him.
Well, Noman Ali and Sajid Khan have definitely proven that. They've taken the 2 wickets to 4 messers. You've got a grass to mow. Gary's got a fence to sit on.
There is a GPL
and probably watch you.
The GPL is actually open at the moment for 64 parts.
That's good to know.
I don't know how long the Bear intends to keep it open, but at the moment you can get in there. If you're backing England, just bet on 261. You never know.
Well, that's a way to go. I didn't think it was open today.
One other thing I wanted to say, which is the Test match currently underway in Bengaluru. New Zealand look like they're going to get up to the kind of score England need in response to India's miserable 46. But they've done it by Devon Conway getting 91. A few other bats failing. Tom Latham's failed. A few others have. But the other batters have just chipped in with 30 odds. So this is really what England need. They need to find someone to play a Devon Conway innings and get up to 100 or so, and have the other bats chip in with 30 odds, and then the total looks less mountainous. Basically you're saying somebody to go big and attack, somebody to be a rock, and if they do that, they could get a chance of getting there. It's a very difficult wicket to do that on. It is. Yeah. Remember the 9th day of play on this wicket, such as the weird shenanigans wicket-wise we've been seeing. It's going to be Noman Ali who is going to open the attack for Pakistan, one of the wicket takers last night. He and Khan are quite a combination. Sajid Khan. Let's find Noman. Where is Noman? Plenty of mates. Here he is.
Some time has passed since Edward confessed, and now Nauman Ali is feeling repressed.
I don't think he's feeling repressed at all. I think he's feeling like he wants to get about his work, which he's doing. And the ball does turn fairly gently and is easily defended by Ollie Pope. Back towards Noman, and there is no run. It is pronounced Nauman, of course, isn't it?
He's hoping to be Nauman the Conqueror.
Nauman the Conqueror.
Very
good. Very good. The Noman Conquests. Alan Ayckbourn, if I'm right.
Yes.
That one is defended, jabbed down on a little bit by Ollie Pope. Wouldn't
Two
say he
defensive
looks
shots.
super comfortable, but two, yeah, as you rightly say, Gary, two defensive shots.
I'm not sure
Ben
your
Duckett
New
was out
Zealand.
already.
I'm not sure your New Zealand analogy is going to work, Gary. New Zealand are now 233 for 7.
All right. We must have lost.
I don't think India are dead in that game,
Yes.
but let's focus on what is here. There's a slip and a forward short leg as around the wicket comes Noman, and he passed the outside edge of a proddy Pope. If it's possible to have a proddy Pope, I mean, to be perfectly honest, I don't think you can you? Let's be honest, that is something of a contradiction, but
Very good.
but there we are. And Ben Stokes has got his feet up, and he's just doing the old sharp intake of breath. I'm not sure that instills confidence in his two batsmen if they have to look up at a big screen and see that.
I'll tell you what, Mike, though.
Here comes Noman. Defended again by Pope. Front foot forward, elbow high, bat straight.
What
Solid
might,
stuff.
What might is that he's the next but one in, and he's got no kit on whatsoever. So he'll have to be scrabbling round for bat and pads.
Well,
and
it'll be
various other
Harry
things.
Brook, but
Yeah.
presumably next.
I think that might have been a recording.
Oh, was it? Well, if it was a recording, it was very much a recording that was perfectly. His facial expression could well have been for that ball. In round the wicket comes Noman. That's well defended by Ollie Pope, and he is as if he's been listening to Gary. He probably had an earpiece. And he's going, "I better listen to Gary. I'm going to play it steady."
If England came out and whacked the ball all over the place, to be saying it was a preset plan, coming out and defending 5 balls out of 6 so far, is this a preset plan?
Well, we shall see. In comes Noman, wheels in. That might be the first run of the morning. Yes, it is. It's guided away out towards cover. They will take a single, and his Eminence, the Bishop of Rome, should have the strike as England move on to 37 for 2. It's just the scoreboard hasn't caught up. It has now. 37 for 2. That's one run less needed by England. 260. Still that record total chase. Messers, who's with us?
Mog
Fantastic.
says, the excitement begins. Brown in Brisbane says, morning all. Over by tea, do you think? And Mog says, nah, England will win it well before tea. I pointed out that we have a new tradition where you can super chat us and buy yourself a title for the day.
Well, do you know what? It's funny you should say that, because I was thinking, as soon as I heard Brian in Brisbane's name, I was thinking if we've conferred, lordships and ladyships and misters, then he must be. I don't know. What if the person that sort of keeps providing you with beer and food?
He's by royal appointment, isn't he?
Oh, I think he must be right. Needless to say, it's Sajid Khan, and needless to say, there's at least 3 men round the bat. There are 4 if you count the wicketkeeper. That's pushed out into the offside by the Bishop of Rome. Yeah, we have a slip, a leg slip. We have a forward short leg to the right-hander as the off-spinner wheels in. Flick back to him, catch taken. He's just chipped it straight back. There's that celebration we've come to. Well, certainly if you're a Pakistan fan, you will love that. Ollie Pope has merely just dinked, in football parlance, the ball back to the bowler, and Pakistan have their first breakthrough of the morning. It's 37 for 3, well, we're not quite in disarray, but that's scarcely the way you want a big run chase to start. There's something slightly camp about that celebration when you watch it a few times. Is it just me, or has he just got a bit more flamboyant and slightly camper every time he does it?
I think it's you, mostly.
Oh, good.
No,
Well
I
be.
think you're right, Tony. I think you're right. And what a soft dismissal. It's all well and good. He got a full toss first ball, and he didn't really drive it. He just pushed it. But then he gets just an ordinary foolish ball, and for some reason his head isn't over it, his hands are too high, his weight isn't going through the ball, and he just chips it back to the bowler like you're in the backyard and you're playing with your younger brother, and you're giving him an easy catch because he wants to go in for his tea and biscuits, and you want to stay out there.
It looked to me like he was slightly caught in two minds, to be honest.
It was.
Am I attacking? Am I defending? And then when you do that, you do the sort of. I mean, he literally just catching practice. But to Sajid Khan, who said, "Thank you very much."
It wasn't a forward defensive though. It was almost just a kind of chip, as you say. Neither got forward nor back. Really, the weight was wrong. That was the main problem. And because the weight wasn't going through the ball, the bottom hand comes through, and you couldn't get an easier caught and bowled than that. And maybe Sargent's got something over these England players. He's taken 9 wickets in the match now, and he seems to be able to conjure a wicket whenever he wants one.
Yeah,
well, he does.
We have a super chat.
We do. Yep.
Mog has bought himself a title for $10. He says, "I'd like the title of Lugal today, please and thank you." Lugal it shall be, Mog. Thank you very much.
I was thinking sort of minstrel by royal appointment to the court of the gorillas, or something like that for Mog.
Minstrel
by royal appointment. Minstrel by royal appointment to the court of the gorillas. But if you want to be Lugal, Mog, you've just paid the money. That's what you shall be. You might need to explain what Lugal means. Over the wicket, swept. That looks close to being in front. I think it might have pitched outside. They're going to get a leg by for it. I don't think Harry Brook is off the mark, to be honest. I think that is just, as we said, a leg by. We're watching the worm's eye view of that dismissal. Now we're watching it from behind Ollie Pope. There it is. I mean, I think the other thing I've noticed when he does that celebration, his hand has gradually been working its way up his inner thigh, and it's got closer to his pieces, bits and pieces, every time he's done a celebration. I can't wait to see the next one, because I don't think it can go any further without basically smacking it. We shall see. It's 38 for 3.
Yeah, he gets to the bit confessions of a off-break bowler there.
Right, here he comes, swept again. It hits the pad. He has a look round. Well, that's Ruti's decided. Might as well give this a go. Well, Baldrick's famous bullet. It's the same with balls in this.
Memo about himself in.
So Pope defends 7 balls and is out, and Brook and Root have faced 1 ball each and tried to whack a boundary from.
Mind you, if I'm Rooty, test average of over 50, mate. Double 100 last time out. Well, what are you going to tell me?
Brook's got a test match average of over 60.
So, gee, that one, he does sweep. Well, he kind of pulls or shovels round the corner, really. It was a curious sweep shot. It evaded leg slip and will be fielded at fine leg. And it will, I think they will have taken 2. Yeah, they did. So Root will move on to 14. We're watching him from earlier doing some practice in the nets of his sweeping.
Yeah, it's all horizontal back shots from
I'd like to see that one again.
So far.
How was it? I mean, maybe it was that deliberate. It was. I mean, it wasn't a square sweep. It was a leg glance sweep. That one's worked backward again down towards fine leg. They take a single. Root on to 15. England 41, but for 3 they've already lost. Ollie Pope to the whirling demon that is Sajid Khan.
We have another title being purchased.
Oh, fantastic! Who have we got now? The Dowager
Duchess. The bet is.
I've just read it. Sorry.
Spend us £2. She is the Dowager Duchess of Bat for the day. Well done.
I'm going to have to write these down, because otherwise I'm not going to remember them.
How does one address a Dowager Duchess?
Well, you just did. The Dowager Duchess.
Yeah, but you don't say hello, Dowager.
Oh, your Dowager. Well, just
Duchess.
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 Duchess. Okay. I'm also allocating that wicket to Ashley Partridge, who had just sent a message saying if England get to 152 for lunch, the game is over. And immediately after saying, what the hell?
Well, there you go. It's another, the tweeter's curse. Noman Ali. In he comes, onto the back foot, goes Root. Again, it's not exactly a pleasant shot. I'm not going to complain, I suppose. It's pulled square. And as is always the way, who should be there to field it but Sajid Khan? Now, there's some little celebrity chap who looks like a 10-year-old dressed as a 50-year-old in the crowd, and seems to be getting an awful lot of attention. Presumably, he is. Well, then they're showing the big Janan Sport thing. Who do we know who that chap is, Gary? The young fellow.
It's a bit creepy, though, isn't it?
He did look a bit creepy. I thought it was a small man in a mask when I first saw it.
Listen, I never thought I'd say this, but Guerrilla Cricket seems to be taking a leaf out of Boris Johnson's book here by inviting people to donate money and writing a list of titles.
Well, it is. It's money for peerages.
Wide open to
absolutely shameless. That one turns back and hits the pad, but well outside of leg stump was Harry Brook. Yet to get off the mark, he's only faced 2 balls.
But it's not corrupt when it's open and honest, is it?
In fact, he hasn't got a bat on either two. Sorry, Bessers.
It's just how the world works, but we're prepared to lay it bare.
Actually, I'm lying. He did get an inside edge on that. So he has laid bat on the second ball that he's faced, although not a large part of the bat. So we've got the Dowager Duchess of bat, and we've got Lugol. This one is defended into the offside. Messers, could you do me a favour whilst you're doing your multitasking? Could you just look up Lugol? I mean, it might just be, Serbo-Croat for the rudest word we're not supposed to say or something.
Send us a message saying bard rather than minstrel, but either way, Tony.
Oh, okay, bard. You'd like to be barred by royal appointment to the court of the gorillas, would you? That one is again an attempt really by Brook to push the leg and ended up squirting away to point. So once more, 3 shots, none of which have really fought of Brook so far have gone anywhere close to where he was aiming them.
Lugal is the Sumerian term for king or ruler.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
Literally, the term means big man.
Big man. That's what I used to A, call my children, and B, what I call my boy cat. There we go.
Big man.
Oh, he's okay. You're right, big man. Don't know why I call him that, seeing as he's a cat. That's swept around the corner nicely. That will be Harry Brook off and running for the day. And of course, once more, who should field it but the ubiquitous Sajid Khan.
Naumann does look a lot like Klaus Kinski in Wojciech. It didn't get any. I should be grateful, actually. Nobody jumped all over it and told me I was an idiot for saying that yesterday. But nobody said, "Oh, yes."
2 reasons for that. One,
nobody knows.
Only people can only see Klaus Kinski and Nosferatu, and that one is guided away to backward point. They take a single, or 2, they don't know who Klaus Kinski is, and they certainly haven't heard of that particular film.
Well, they're missing out.
But you always associate certain artists, certain actors with certain roles, don't you? And I mean, Klaus Kinski and Nosferatu to me, and that particular shadowy picture with the claws up and the bulging pate. I mean, it's an iconic image. Right. Speaking of iconic, we'll go back to Messi Jez. 252 England need.
Ashley Partridge asked how many runs England need. We need another 252.
252.
Just going back a little, Mike said, morning all. Frank Rockefeller says, hope England win, but there are 8 good balls away from losing.
In comes Sajid. Down the track comes Brook. He's off and running again. They should take 2. Yes, they do. It was just a gentle nudge. Very controlled. Yeah. Down towards mid-off.
That's the first time we've seen the feet used by England. So Brook coming down, a couple of sachets, or a single sachet, 2 steps, and then vertical bat, just pushing it into the gap. I like that.
Swept. Reverse swept, in fact, by Root. That could be the first boundary of the morning, you bet your life it is.
Brook.
Oh, it's Brook, beg his pardon, but it was a reverse sweep, and it was a very successful one for 4 runs.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary.
Uppish though, Gary, a tad uppish.
Yeah, I mean, it is. We know England embrace this high-risk stuff, but there are so many ways to get out to that top edge, missing the ball, going onto the stumps. Yeah. I know you get your reward, but can you keep
down? Go the slips, leg slipped, flicked up. I think that was just off the pad. There was a ripple. And no more of excitement at leg slip. Shah Massoud had a look. But England are unflustered, and we move on.
Compare the 2 shots that Harry Brook has played. One ball, he comes down the wicket.
He comes down again. This was dragged down a bit by Sajid Khan on that occasion.
So the first delivery, he comes down the wicket and pushes it to a gap at mid-off. Almost no risk whatsoever unless the ball really does kick past his pads.
In wheel Sajid, that's well swept. Evades the 2 close fielders on the leg slide down to backward square.
He gets 2 runs.
Saim Ayub is down there, and there's a single. End of the over. No, not quite the end of the over. Sorry, Gary, carry on.
2 runs for the push drive, and then the reverse sweep, he gets 4-4, but so many ways to get out.
That, again, a sweep. I don't think he laid any bat on that. All eyes on umpire Damasina, who actually a move not dissimilar to the Sajid Khan celebration, but he slaps the top of his thigh instead of gradually snaking his hand up the inner part of it.
Just before we go to messy jazz,
we're a long way behind.
53 for 3. Messers is panicking.
Okay.
So Mike says, morning all. MM says it's the ideal position to unleash pure Baz ball, get it done in 40 overs maximum. Lugol says, meanwhile, let's also talk about Australia's shock loss at the Women's T20 World Cup.
Yes.
Great work by South Africa. Michael Bedford says the top gorilla should be a silverback. Of course it should, yes. And Dara says, hi all. Brown in Brisbane says if Tony is doing the appointing, it could be by Ecclesiastic.
Well, exactly. That's reverse swept by Root this time. But he only bunts it on the bounce to the closely attending leg slip.
So
and there is no run, Gary.
We've seen so many sweeps and reverse sweeps already, but I don't think England have middled one of them yet.
Well, it's a clear policy, and they've been practicing them to try and knock bowlers off their line. I think this one is thrown up by Nauman. They've middled that one, has Rooty, very nicely. Round comes Sajid, and as well as being a bit of a demon with the ball, he's more than capable in the field. He flings himself to his left, restricts England to 2. Root moves on to 18. England 55 for 3.
He doesn't need to be told the camera's on him, does he, Sajid?
No, but I mean, I think with him and Nauman, you know, the curious decision or you know, the understandable decision has unleashed a couple of personalities. But in the case of Sajid, that one swept. That's a huge shout by Nauman Ali. The finger's gone up.
Yeah, that was.
Gaffers says that is as plumb as a plum thing. I can't see Root 6 he's reviewed, but his facial expression has twice indicated, I'm pretty sure I'm out, but I'm Joe Root. You're fucked without me.
And you're just going to end up missing a straight one sooner or later, because
that's what he did.
It's a lottery as to whether you're going to hit it or not, because you clearly are not seeing the ball and attuned to the conditions sufficiently to be middling very many.
Does it turn? Not really, just marginally turn. The only thing that might save him, but he's already been given out, remember, he's looking again to sweep. He's down on one knee. It's the back leg in front of leg stump. Might it just have been snaking down leg?
No, I don't think so.
Sorry, off stump, but his back leg. His back leg in front of off stump.
He's got 12,700 test runs. Yeah, that's fair enough, but he hasn't got 12,700 test runs trying to sweep everything on pitches like this to bowlers like these.
Well, let's have a look. It pitches just outside off. The impact is umpire's call. It's hitting the top of off stump. The sweep has done for England again. Nauman Ali has done for England again. He's got his second wicket. Sajid the other 2. 55 for 4. Gaffers goes, I told you so. And by the way, we're also stuffing India. There's the man from Otago in New Zealand. And Joe Root's gone for 18. And I'm afraid I was going to play Silly Little Boy Jingle, but I don't think that's entirely just. I might just play something a tad more. Where's my favourite Billie Holiday? I'm going to play this for Joe Root because I just think it's a bit sad. Sorry, Gary. I shall put Billy on the down low to allow you to speak.
Well, if England come out in the next Test match, well, first of all, Pakistan have now got the blueprints. You know, play these 2 spinners with a backup on a pitch that offers them some help. And England are going to sweep everything, and England are going to get out twice as well in the next test.
Well, this is a man.
It's just being overused. It's not being used as a decision with the ball in flight, playing each ball on its merits. It's being used that unless we sweep 4 or 5, 6 deliveries per over, then we're not doing what we should do. And I just do not see it. Cue England now to put on a stand of 250 all swept runs, but I just don't see it. I can't see how England can employ these tactics against these bowlers on this wicket and be anything other than all out 120.
Well, you might be being optimistic there. It's the England captain. Here he is.
Ben?
Been woefully out of touch. Not surprisingly,
Ben
having not played the... was it the Sri Lanka series he missed? Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
We've got important cultural information for you from...
Noman Ali's in. It's swept backward a square. There's our friend Sajid in his floppy hat.
No, it was backward of point because it was reversed.
Oh, it was reversed. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Messers, you were saying?
MM says that celebration is traditional declaration of challenge in Indian mud wrestling.
It
Is
it Baijo?
Yeah.
Well, we're not quite on mud, but we're certainly on dust, a dusty old track. Hands in heads amongst the balmy army or English members of the crowd. You tend to group just anyone who's English in the crowd as being part of the balmy army just because they're there. Around the wicket comes Noman. Onto the back foot goes Harry Brook. I think that's Brook. Yes, it is the right-hander, of course. No run.
We should be careful because I do and others do want to see England play positively. They just want to see England play with a range of shots instead of so many being horizontal bats.
In comes Noman. Well defended by Brook. Pushed towards the slip. And there is no run. End of the over, 56 for 4.
Terrified to use the sweep because of the stumping yesterday, maybe. Frank Rockefeller says it's a good Pakistan support in the stadium. Doesn't seem to be much. Maybe it's because it's a day of prayer and they'd probably come after prayer.
Well, that's true. Well, it may not be relevant. So, Messers, I should ask, in case I have to do some... Well, I can't do any rotor work. We'll have to play it by ear because I can't get to my laptop. But are we playing the extra half hour and then an hour for lunch? That's what I anticipated in the rotor.
That's what I would expect, but I don't think we're going to get that far, to be honest.
Well, be prepared, like a Boy Scout.
Yeah, the GPL is still open. It's at £67. I expect the Bear to close it soon. Is the Bear awake? Do we know?
Well, he was awake earlier because, again, I've got very clear instructions about everything in the studio. But every time I do it, just something behaves differently that then makes everything else behave differently. But he'd anticipated it and had very kindly woken up, knowing I might need help. Ben Stokes has pulled out of that, so something has distracted him. Unlikely to be someone in the crowd. I think a lot of the crowd, in answer to our friend's question there, I'll sit back in the shade. That's reverse swept again by Ben Stokes. This time he's going to get not 4 to it because it's fielded at deep backward point. I have to double think those when they're reverse sweeps.
It is tricky, isn't it? Because your brain is looking at the shape of the shot.
Yeah, exactly.
And the shape of the shot is, it's a slug sweep to square leg, but actually it isn't.
Shut up the shutters with the shape of the shop. You're absolutely right. Down the track comes Harry Brook. Well, there's a bit of excitement. I think that was on the bounce to forward short leg. Brook has a deep in-breath of breath, heaves his shoulders. There's a lot of pressure out there. Certainly a lot of pressure on these two.
There's less so at the moment.
It pitches,
it did come off the bat.
Yeah, I think it was off the bat, but it dropped just short of forward short leg.
There is.
Oh, they're having another look though. Hang on.
Yeah, but it's not out. There isn't that much pressure because nobody is expecting England to win from this situation. The pressure will come if they're 257 for 4 or 257 for 7. So I don't think there's much pressure at the moment because England have kind of in their minds they've lost this, which does release, does allow a little relaxation in the batters.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's very hard not to sound a bit old-fashioned sometimes. Well, just for a second, I'll come back to that thought. It's full off the bat by Harry Brook. He takes one hand off it. Now, the question we're looking at and why there is a delay is that we think it pitched just marginally short of forward short leg. It did, and it bounced into forward short leg's hands. Not only did it bounce into forward short leg's hands, it then went into the hands and out the hands and bounced back up again. So, as Gary said, we'll move on. Let me finish that thought, Gary. Not out. But when you look at, so part of you thinks, well, if these two are still there after half, and of the first two, Pope and Rooty, well, just wait. Those three men around the back go down. Swept, of course it was. Backward of square, there is, of course, a man down there at deep backward square. They'll take a single. If Root and Pope had got through the first half hour, let's say there was only 15 or 20 on the board, you'd still be thinking, you've got the 8 wickets in the hutch. There's the chances there. The fact is, Pope was out to a nothing indeterminate chip back to the bowler, which he won't look back with any pride. That's reverse swept by
that's
Ben
swept.
Stokes.
That was a sweep.
Oh, it was a sweep. I'm completely confused now. Right, backward. So, well, in that case, it was a legitimate sweep, 2 backward square, and it was a single.
It was a reverse sweep.
It was a reverse sweep. It was, yes. It's like a double bluff. Where was I saying? Yes. So the 2 shots that the batsman fell to, Root was trying to be aggressive. Pope didn't quite know what to do, and they were disappointing shots, even under difficult circumstances. As that one was reverse swept by Harry Brook.
I think the difference was that Pope played the right shot but executed it poorly, whereas Root played a very high risk shot across the line to a straight ball.
Thrown up. That's flicked up into the air, top edge. There is no short fine leg. It's going to get Harry Brook probably a single. They may come back for 2. He'll move on to 13, and I'm sure if you asked him, he has no clue quite how he's got to 13, because I'm not sure any of them have been really under any kind of control, Gary.
Well, that's
Leah
the point I was going to make, yeah. Go on.
Leah's with us. She says the most Kinski movie ever made is the one in which he plays Paganini and plays the violin with his knob while being buck naked. Yes, this did happen. Don't look it up. It's in his Italian porn phase.
Oh, Lord. He played that. I've heard of being highly strung, but...
Paradine says, do we have a jingle based on Space Oddity song by Peter Schilling? Could be used for singles. And Leah says the Peter Schilling one is called Major Tom, based on Space Oddity from David Bowie.
Noman Ali,
Mog,
leg slip, a sweep by Ben Stokes. Have you noticed how I'm trying to think about it?
Yes.
The fact is, basically every shot is a sweep, and you've got a right-hander and a left-hander, and they're combining their legitimate sweeps with reverse sweeps. And my brain's having to go through a process to figure out left-hander, normal sweep, not normal sweep. Well, Ben Stokes has stepped back. It's going to be the left arm of Spiny Noman, who's over the wicket to the left-hander. That's a reverse sweep. So bizarrely, that's out to deep cover, and it's going to be 4 runs wherever you call it. That time executed perfectly, unlike the sodding jingle playing.
And if you
There we go.
can't listen, and you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary,
And we are due a change at the end of this over, I think. Gary, you're going to be on.
We know that Ben Stokes has got all the shots in the book, and he's got immense power. It seems that if he wants to hit a boundary, that seems to be, if you like, the least effective way of doing it. He did middle that one to his credit, but I think he's tried to sweep every one of the
65
5
for
balls.
4, 232 needed. Oh, that nips back to him, and they're going to get, I think, a leg bye down to fine leg. They might get 4 leg byes. No, it's just going to be hauled in, and they'll come back for 3. So 65
signalled as buys, I think, actually.
Yeah, what was it? I could have sworn that came off the pad. I need to see that again.
No, it turned a mile.
Yeah, it did.
We'll have a look. It does turn a mile. And it was, well, it didn't, tell you what, it didn't actually miss his leg stump by a huge amount.
No.
Rizwan was on the line of leg stump. I think he thought it was going to hit the leg stump. He certainly wasn't covering wide of leg with his gloves.
68 for 4 though. 3 runs. England will take them at the moment. Around the wicket to the right-handed Brook comes Noman, who cuts. Now that is probably the best legitimate shot of the morning. But it's fielded. 2 Pakistan fielders converge. They managed to take 3, I think.
Yeah, a rare poor ball in that he dragged it down there, did Noman, and because Harry Brook was waiting for it, he was able to make the decision as to which shot to play on the basis of the line and length of the ball.
71 for 4.
A very good cut out to deep cover. And
it was a beautiful shot.
All of a sudden the game looks more sensible, doesn't it? With
will it last? Shots. Here comes Noman. Reverse swept, missed by Ben Stokes. So I don't have to worry about cover and square leg being in different places to where they should be, because that's gone straight into the Rizzler's gloves. Still 71 for 4.
What are the chances of reverse sweeping, spinning ball out of the rough? I mean,
right.
Anyway.
Well, it should be the last ball of the over. In wheels Noman. That's a conventional sweep down to backward square. They'll take a single. Ben Stokes will keep the strike, and after 18 it's 78 for 4. England in a fair old bit of disarray, and we'll get some messages from messages, and we'll have a little shuffle-aroo.
Okay, just first thing, I've had official confirmation from the Bear that the GPL will stay open until there are 7 wickets down.
Ooh,
so get in while the going's good. It's
increases your chances of winning. How many quid?
And Lugal's £67.
£67.
Lugal, aka Mog, says, "Well, the continuing shit show continues," and I shall hand over to you, Forthy.
Thank you very much, Messi.
Hello, Forthy. This ball is reverse swept by Ben Stokes, and he gets little bottom edge on it. It seems entirely a lottery as to whether he'll middle it or not, and there is no run. England 72 for 4. Forthy, have we gone from the realms of improbable to impossible this morning?
Well, I always thought it was more or less impossible. I think this will be over by probably around lunchtime.
It's the necromancer of the vinyl maelstrom, by the way, Forthy, on summarising. This is a full toss, and that's a perfectly legitimate shot to play to a full toss. And what's interesting is that he got down low to Ben Stokes to sweep it to fine leg, but that's the easiest ball to hit hard is the ball that was not hit hard. He just kind of paddled it round there and helped himself to 2. He's faced 10 balls. Brook has faced 18. They're both a bit lucky to be there, to be honest. But Sajid's in again, and this is on the line of the stumps, but it's reverse swept, and it's reverse swept hard. Middled that one. Goes out to deep point, but it looks like deep backward square because of the reverse of the feet, and the ball is thrown in, as it is so often these days, on the half volley through to the keeper to rough it up. And England are through for 2.
Do they want to rough it up? They won't be worried about reverse, which is the usual when you want to rough it up.
It just seems to be a habit these days. This ball is punched to short mid-wicket. I mean, it happens so often, it must be deliberate, that the ball is seemingly these days never returned on the full. And the days
you can throw it in.
This ball is reversed, and it's hit quite hard, but there's a man out at deep point who does a bit of a double teapot there. I don't know why he's upset about having to field the ball, because that's kind of the job.
Basically his job.
Yeah, 13 to Stokes. England 77 for 4. Now, no, it just seems to be the ball is always on the half volley these days to the keeper. They used to throw it in on the bounce and try and hit one of the unused wickets on the square to soften it, the ball. And
they were noticeably yesterday throwing into the footmarks when they were
that's right.
wanting to get it roughed.
Here's another reverse sweep from Brook, who misses it, of course he does, but the ball was pitched outside leg, dribbles away, and there is no run. 77 for 4 England. We have your socials.
I think that's you, Forthy.
It is indeed. Right then. Rav Pyridine. With Root gone, this series will be tied 1-1, he predicts, with 3 exclamation marks. David Durrell. Morning, we're doomed. Frank Rockefeller. Time for Stokes to pull his finger out. Mayank. Correct. When a wrestler makes that Sajid celebration, it's a show of him saying, I'm the man. Fight me if you dare.
That's right.
Michael Bedford, if sweet doesn't work, try Sooty. Van Dijk, Brook and Stokes need a good partnership. Jeremy Henderson, I'm sorry, but I think Forthy has to super chat to be referred to as the necromancer. And Jeremy Henderson, you want to do a little...
Use your Prime super chat.
Oh,
This is swept, of course it is, by Ben Stokes, uppishly, but it goes down to the man on a couple of bounces at fine leg, and they're through for a single. Meanwhile, in Bengaluru, Rachin Ravindra, very fine player, is 76 not out. New Zealand at 281 for 7, so they are going to get up to the kind of score that England need through some decent contributions and some one man getting 90 odd.
I meant to be Messi sponsored me to be necromancer for the day to the tune of $1
Well, here's no man who's certainly weaving his magic. Left arm spin. This is defended out to the point area, and there is no run. I'm never one to shy away from going over the top in criticism, Tony. Am I too far with this? Should England be employing these tactics? Is this the best way to
ask
turn
me
the odds
when
in their
either
favour?
10 wickets have fallen or England have made 297.
Far too boring. Far too boring. Here
I
is,
think they're probably overusing the tactic.
Yeah. Nauman is round the wicket, and that's an enormous
he's getting-
point from Harry Brook, who's trying to hit the ball to Multan city centre. He missed it, of course he did, and that ball is going to hit the stumps. It's been given out, and this is just out, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I thought there was some bat on it, so I'm going to hold fire on everything there. It was an attempted hoik to leg that he got.
He's playing right across the line on a pitch that has plenty of caprice in it. I mean, it's just the percentages are so against you. Pitch is middle.
Oh, it kept a bit low.
Kept a bit low. It's hit him in front of middle and leg. He's nowhere near the ball with that hoik, and he is going to be out. I mean, Pakistan are just getting, the wickets for nothing and your chicks for free here. They're not doing anything particularly to get these wickets. They're just bowling the ball at the stumps, and England are saying...
Not quite middle and leg, but to me that looks like it's slap on leg. I can't see it doing anything else than hitting leg.
We're seeing it now, and the ball is pitched in line, it's hit in line, and the wickets are hitting, of course it is. Just rubbish there from England.
Little boy, what on earth were you playing at? Oh!
Well, on the one side, having got up at 4, started at 6, England are thinking, well, let's send Tony home, just have a little, put his feet up for a bit.
Yeah. Harry Brook out for 16, could have been out a couple of times before he was out. Don't want to be a record stuck in a groove, but you're just going to miss so many of those types of shots, and so it becomes a lottery as to whether the ball is going on to hit the stumps, because the line of the ball has played no part in your decision making as to which shot to play. You've decided the shot to play, the bowler's at the top of his mark. Must be great bowling in these situations, mustn't it?
It must be.
The stumps, I've got a man.
Well, Jamie Smith already, crikey, 5 down. You have to feel, though, sort of, that they were all avoidable. I mean, you could argue they all are, but every dismissal has been a batsman attempting a shot to take the game to the bowlers rather than being beaten by an unplayable ball. You feel?
Yeah.
Well, the balls aren't unplayable, but they were. I mean, honestly, if they'd have played orthodoxly, they'd have lost 5 wickets. They'd lost 5 wickets anyway. I mean, Ollie Pope didn't play a ridiculous shot. He played. He just mistimed it or whatever. He wasn't playing a hoik or anything.
I disagree. Pope.
Hey there, Jamie Smith. Are you a good keeper or batsman? Either way, all your hopes of getting a game are fucked.
I disagree. Pope did execute the shot poorly. Crawley got a really good one. The rest of the deliveries are perfectly normal deliveries.
Yeah,
That
fair
for the
enough.
history of Test cricket, they would just have been defended into the leg side, no run. But they roll the dice six and out. I mean, the Brook shot was a six or out shot, and he's out. I mean, if you look at this, it's just a wild hook.
Which England team in history against this bowling attack on this pitch would have got the runs?
Well, they wouldn't be 78 for 5. They might be.
Matter though. If you're going to lose, you're going to lose. I feel, you know.
Well, I think if you're gonna
very
put the
very boring.
pressure-
Well, historically,
Yes.
1961.
And there's
Ted Dexter.
there's two ways of putting pressure on the bowlers. One is to hit boundary after boundary, which is what England are trying to do. The other way is to take the game deep. These are the best two bowlers. See them off. Only lose one wicket at best, which would have been Pope's. Take the game into the afternoon. See what Pakistan have got. They're possibly a bowler down because Jamal has been carrying an injury, and put the pressure on that way. Take them deep into the game.
But that's not the way the team plays.
It isn't the way the team plays, and that was my point early on about the paradox, is that if they play like this in every match, they're more likely to win test matches than to lose. But you have to have the nuance that they told us they were going to have. And that's a pretty decent shot from Jamie Smith to get off the mark. He gets a short one, so he hits it into a gap and takes a single. They did tell us that the Baz ball was going to be more nuanced, that they weren't going to just attack every single delivery. And these are circumstances in which there are many ways to play the game, and England have chosen the highest of all possible risk strategies at the riskiest time, which is at the start. And Pakistan must be loving it. You know, what do Pakistan want now? Do they want England to continue to bat the way they have, or do they want England to sit in the game for 45 minutes, milk the singles that are on offer? Well, I would suggest they want England to continue playing the way they are. And if you're doing what your opponent wants, that's usually not a very good strategy. As no man's in again, he gets a full toss from Ben Stokes, who reverses it to the man at backward point and picks up a single. England 17.
He does have the odd loose ball in him. Does Noman perhaps more than Sajid? I've noticed there's been a few full tosses and drag downs. But you know, you can afford those at the moment, can't you, if you're Pakistan?
Well, they're under pressure too, because everyone expects Pakistan to win now. So, you know, these bowlers have got to do the job. The captain clearly doesn't fancy the leg spinner. The pace bowler is possibly injured. So England's major job is to see these two off, and they've just invited them to pick up easy wickets, very easy wickets. As no man's in again, left arm round to the right-handed Smith, who plays an orthodox defensive, just a short leg and a slip in. It's the end of the over. England are 80 for 5. They need a very distant 217, and we need your socials.
Yes, Stephen Kelt says, good morning all, and a special hello to Necromancer 40. Hello there, Stephen. The Dowager Duchess of Bat and Lugal Handjob. D. Handjob says, I can't wait to see 40 applies dark necromantic arts.
You'd only have to change one letter and it would be a legal hand job. As opposed to presumably an illegal one.
It'd be quite funny if it was Necroman Ali bowling from the other end.
Yeah, very
Necroman
good.
Ali.
Yeah.
Stephen Kelk. Oh yeah, England, for fuck's sake. Won't be purchasing a Commodore title given that the game will be over in an hour or two.
Yeah.
We say the GPL is £68.
Indeed.
And I'll hand back to the cricket, I imagine.
Yeah, Sargent about to bowl left arm over to the left-handed Stokes. Yeah, Necromancer, you're kind of our Prospero, aren't you? You should be banging that staff and magicking up some boundaries for us, for people.
Sauron goes by the name of Necromancer in the Hobbit.
Oh, does he? I was thinking of the Tempest because, of course, the maelstrom of Vinyl Maelstrom suggests the Tempest of the Tempest to me. But,
thank you for sending through your review of the Substance as well. I read it within.
Yeah, it's a flawed but good film. Too long, so many are. Thank you for the compliment. As Ben Stokes gets down and conventionally sweeps to the man at long leg. Yes, I thought Tony may be inviting opprobrium by referring to legitimate sweeps, orthodox sweeps, I would call them, because unorthodox carries no pejorative term, whereas illegitimate, of course, for the reverse does. But I'm slightly with you, though, Tony. I think there is an argument for the legitimacy and illegitimacy.
Well, I was thinking more of Prospero. Our revels now are ended. I don't think it may be that long until they are.
You could be right. You could.
We might almost say Brave New World that have these batsmen in.
Ah, that was Miranda said that, of course, though, wasn't it?
This is very full, and Jamie Smith happily doesn't try and hit it too hard, just gets enough on it to get it to backward square, and they jog an agreed single, England taking a bit of the heat out of the game, which is what they want to do. I'm sure there was plenty of cheer, plenty of shabash, shabash, shabash from Rizwan and others around the bats as the wickets tumbled. But Smith, who seems a very phlegmatic character, he had a bad drop yesterday, but recovered as Stokes gets one that kicks out of the rough, and he pulls out of a sweep, I think. Did that beat him, or did he pull out there?
He gives himself one a game, James Smith, doesn't he? He makes one faff a game.
Yeah, as Sajid again quite wide on the return crease, and Stokes again doesn't try and whack it out of the ground. He does sweep it to the man at deep backward square, but it's more of a kind of paddly push that goes out there, and he helps himself to one. Sajid's raised his 50, 2 for 50 off 10.4 overs. From 214 away. 214, was that a score by David Gower? I'm trying to think of
I do think
214s.
Whatever you say about the Pakistan approach, we've unearthed a real personality here in Sajid.
We have. This ball turns into Jamie Smith, who watches the ball onto the bat, which is always a good idea for a batter. Not something too many England players bother with, and gets it to short mid-wicket, and there is no run. End of what will be a tidy over for both sides, actually. Yes, it is defended by Smith, so just 3 from it. England 83 for 5, 214 needed for the most unlikely of wins.
Hattie the Batty, Dowager Duchess, early morning salutations. Stephen Kelp. Apologise if I get pronounced this name wrong. Yong Jinar, good to see Pakistan winning. And Leah, what are you people talking about? Prospero is the home of the Blood Angels chapter of Space Marines from Warhammer 40k. Of course it is. And she adds, check your Twitter, please, Gary.
Oh, okay. I'll have a look. Meanwhile,
that normally means you're in some kind of trouble, Gary.
I know. Rachin Ravindra is bashing sixes against India. He's a fine player, that lad.
He is. He could be next cab off the rank, so getting into the top 5, say, of the event. Maybe he's already there. I haven't checked recently. The ICC batting rankings.
Here is Nauman over the wicket to the left-handed Stokes, who reverses it. There's nobody halfway out square leg. It seems to be a little bit of an error to me because it was a top edge, but it bounces a couple of times en route to the man at deep point, and through for a single. England 84 for 5.
Beautiful view we're getting of the drone looking down on it's a sort of a perfect circle, isn't it?
It is lovely ground. I'm
Multan
not so sure
Stadium.
about surrounding suburbs.
Well, it's out of town. This is why one of the reasons they feel it's not as well attended as it should be.
This ball is defended to forward point, a kind of very squarish short extra, and there is no run. I've seen my Twitter, and I shall get back to you, Leah. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Very mysterious.
I shall get back to you.
Ooh, you too.
As here is Nauman again, and this is swept with a kind of vertical batter, hit very, very hard indeed to the mid-wicket boundary.
I thought, seeing as you're planning some sort of liaison with Leah there, Gary, I'd play the German version.
I think there probably is an online liaison suggested. But I've got quite a bit of podcasting coming up in the next few days, so I need to look at the diary. No, it's kind of my regular gig at Nessun Dorma, and I think there's another one somewhere. I'm not sure. As here is Nauman, and this ball is defended with a straight back by Jamie Smith, who he looks to have the temperament, the shots, and the technique for Test cricket. I do see his future at 4 or 5 for England. I think asking him to keep wicket as well as make the kind of runs he could make, I think England need to have a think about how they deploy Jamie Smith in the next 12 months or so. As Naumanton again, and this is defended with the most immaculate of straight bats, giving us the red stripe of Gray Nichols there.
We talked about you coming on Vinyl Maelstrom, so we should do that soon.
Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to.
Oh, what would be the subject area?
Well, I talked
The
about
Mersey beat sound of the 1960s.
Oh, picking some of the more interesting songs from musicals is what I thought.
If you had a controversial theory or two.
Oh, there's always one of those. Jamie Smith hits this high, having said he's got the temperament for Test cricket. He's just hit the ball high off a leading edge. He was attempting to whack it over cow corner. It went straight up in the air, and I think that was Shan Masood, the captain, who took the easiest of catches. England's at 88 for 6, and if you're planning on doing anything later this morning, you'll have plenty of time to do it.
You silly little boy.
You flipping muppet.
What were you playing at? Oh!
Unbelievable.
Just needs a little bit of time before attempting to hit a 6, just to have a look at it. And Jamie Smith usually does give himself time, but I think he's out off about the 10th ball he faced. Let's have a look. It was indeed the 10th ball he faced. This is
it's clearly playing to a plan. England's plan, which was high risk, and as you yourself said, Gary, very eloquently, it'll come off more often than it doesn't. They're in a hole. They're trying to punch their way out of it. It was always likely not to succeed, but there was the chance that it might, and they'd rather go down in flames. Was it die lion like a lion rather than a lamb? Is their whole philosophy.
Yes,
and
better to burn than to fade away.
Yeah, better to and radiate.
Yes,
fade away and radiate. Indeed.
Yeah,
I love that song.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Strange.
But we can't have our cake and eat it too, unless you're Hendo, in which case you'd have two cakes and eat them both. But you genuinely, sometimes when it does crash and burn for England, it's so easy to be critical. But look at how much it has worked.
I'm more with Tony on this, and I also don't want us eking out 100, to limp to 170 or something, but into the 5th hour and lose anyway. I know what you're saying, Gary, and I know it's something to do with the integrity of Test cricket.
No,
but
it's not. It's
quite a boring day.
It's to do with playing smart, because play like this by all means, but play like this in either the second hour of the session or in the afternoon. Don't do it
Jingle
when
the
the
New
risk
Man.
is at its highest. As Ben Stokes was on strike because they did cross, and in Test cricket you're allowed to cross, faces the next ball and just paddles it to long leg, and they're through for a single.
Well, you say that wasn't that far from a short sort of backward square. I'd like to see this again, which I'm now going to be able to.
No.
Oh no, that's the wicket.
Smith dismissal.
Yeah, it's just a massive top edge. Well, let's just quickly jingle up the new batsman.
Your hopes and dreams are flying at half-mast. When the bribing comes a-calling, all your fools will be falling.
And he immediately tries to play across a straight ball, and it hits him on the pad, and the bowler's just bowled a normal ball at leg stump at the stumps. He's missed it. He's given out LBW. This will also be out. They're reviewing it, but this is my point. I mean, that shot is a legitimate shot, but perhaps, against bowlers other than the best two in the side, and perhaps when you've got your eye in a little bit. I don't think the approach is wrong. I think the timing is wrong.
Again, it was the sweep, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was across the line of the ball.
I mean, having said everything I just said, I mean, there is a thin dividing line between cutting England the slack there and basically just watching lemming-like behaviour.
That is very, very out.
Reverse sweep lemmings. Or sweeping lemmings.
We can add those to our teams. This England team could become the reverse sweep lemmings. A bit like those honey badgers we were talking about.
That was the reason we got into those, because of that the one-day champions, the Champions One-Day Cup that Pakistan created.
Yeah,
England could enter a 7th team as the lemmings. To take on the whoever it is, I think lemmings. The dolphins and the mountain goats and the
stallions,
panthers. I know the panthers, the stallions, the the mountain gates, but that's not there actually. Whatever the macaws.
So we're seeing the
Marcaws.
review, but we've already given this up.
Well,
it might be turning down.
it's going down leg.
And
It's
it
missing.
is! Would you believe it?
After all
Would you
that,
believe it? It turned more than expected. Karsk gets a life. We all thought that was out. It was one of those ones where it actually hit him quite low on the pad, and so you only see a little bit of the deviation, and then once the ball has travelled, what would be 5 feet, 6 feet, reaches 4 feet, isn't it? So if he's playing forward, another 2 feet forward.
nailed on for 100 now, Gary.
Yeah, that's
He's had his
6
life.
foot, got him out. But we know what's going to happen. He's going to do the same thing to either this ball or one coming up soon, and it will be LBW because he's not going to play it with a straight bat.
You know what the plan is?
Sajid's in, he comes down the track and gets a horrible inside edge and is almost run out by a throw from short mid-wicket. England running through the various ways of dismissals and in the laws of cricket here. It just looks out, doesn't it? And then
It does. Well, it hits him so low in front of middle, but it had just turning too far, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think it would have been one word on the strategy paper this morning when they wrote it up: golf.
Yes.
Yes. Here is now, or rather, Sajid in again, and of course he plays across the line, and of course he misses the ball. Of course it hits him on the pad. This time he's outside the line.
I love Sajid's reaction when he saw the outcome of the review, though. I mean, it was basically couldn't completely lip read it. We'll hold it for a second.
He's in again as Sajid. This ball is defended, squeezed out by Bryden Cast, who has a little smile, and Sajid has a smile back. It's been played in a lovely spirit, this match.
I don't know what Pakistani for his that's bollocks, he was definitely out, but that essentially will have been what he was saying. How dare it not be out?
A lot of smiles in the middle. He goes back to Brendan Cast, waits for the turn, and then pushes it into the vacant area behind point, and they get two. A break of sanity there. And Sajid is smiling again. Rizwan, I think, sets the tone because he's always having a laugh and a joke. But it's been really good to see the players enjoying themselves.
Fourthy.
You're right about keepers. They do set the tone. I'm not fourthy.
Oh, sorry, Necromancer.
Thank you very much. Right. Where have we got to? Ooh, there's quite a lot happening. Sorry, let me just scroll all the way up.
Have you got the scrolls?
Good to see. Here we go. Jeremy Henson, mea culpa for Thea. I'm afraid there are several tweets which I didn't get a chance to read out. That's all right. Leah, I must admit, if I was to pick a chapter, I have a soft spot for the white scars, Leah, says Mr. Handjob. Mayank. Ravindra has his 100. Jeremy Henson agrees. Leah, they're really cool, but I'm a Death Guard gal myself. Are we back with the cricket? No.
Not quite.
Leah, no rush, Gary. I have a lot of live commentary over the weekend, and next weekend I have Rumble Pants lined up.
Oh, excellent. I shall be back. We're 1 over away from a change. We're 1 over away from drinks. England are 4 wickets away from defeat as Ben Stokes goes down, and reverse sweeps this with much more solidity, if you like. Didn't try and hit it too hard, but got plenty on it, and it goes to backward point.
2 + 2 is our man. 2 + 2 is our man.
Mr. Handjob is Lugal today. You've got to keep up with these, it's quite difficult.
Yeah, it is quite difficult, yeah.
Lou Gal sounds like a name of a kind of silence screen goddess, a kind of Louise Brooks type figure to me.
Lou Reed, Lou Gal.
Yeah.
That seductive talk you can keep for your conversations with Leah.
Probably so. Here is now and in again, and Ben Stokes gets one outside off stump, and it was outside leg stump, but it looked like it was outside off stump because he was reversing again, and perhaps to his credit realised it was too wide to hit hard, and just was happy to just knock it into the offside for a single. As we're watching a replay of a catch at short leg. Stokes dismissal in the first innings, that's what it is, as he risked a jarred wrist by banging his bat on.
Probably broke his bat.
Steps.
That's not ideal for a bat, is it? Smacking it on concrete.
This ball is defended by Bryden Cast, who, having been given a light first ball, now seems to have calmed down.
Well, they've got 2 slips in as well for him.
Yeah.
That's the first time I think we've seen both slips deployed, so we know how they're going to attack Bryden Cast.
England profited from the 2 slips to the spinner. Here is Nauman Ali again. It tosses this one up. It's on middle stump. It's just defended quietly. The ball's
He's locking all the doors. He feels safest of all. He's in his cars.
Oh, right. Well,
Gary Newman, wasn't it? Different Gary.
Yeah, different Gary.
Well, who's going to drive them to the golf course this afternoon at this rate? Never mind this tomorrow. As Nauman is in. It's an enormous swipe by Bryden Cars, and I think he missed it. Did the ball go through to Rizwan? It must have gone over the top of the stumps if it did. Seeing it again, just an orthodox left arm spinner. Yes, it just went past the top of the corner of the off stump. Again, trying to hit a 6 and missing it.
It's a sort of performance where the under-14s coach give the teams a massive bollocking when they come off the court.
I think you're right. Here is Nauman, and this ball is squeezed off the inside edge. Cast bends down, gives the ball to Mohammed Rizwan. We'll take drinks. We'll have a change. I was going to say I'll see you in the afternoon session, but I doubt I will. If not, I'll see you in the third.
Stay
test.
tuned, Gary, and yes, you certainly will.
I don't think it is drinks either. I think it's
Isn't
an
it?
extended
Oh,
session.
an extended
Session because of prayers.
Thank you.
So 15 minutes of drinks.
Session. Oh, is it? In which case we'll definitely be all over by lunchtime. There's Kat. Hello, Kat.
Hey there. Are we changing?
Yes.
Yes, I believe we are. This sort of performance from England, and you, Messi, must provide neither of you with any pleasure at all, I imagine.
I just think it's sad.
Try and keep a straight face.
So especially an
It's sad
all-Australian
they miss out.
crew here. We've got one Englishman based in Melbourne and then 2 Australians. Fabulous.
I know. Yeah, that's exactly correct. I think I'm on BBB. Sajid, the hero of the match for Pakistan, comes round the wickets to give himself more options of wickets, like he needs anymore, and sweeps it round. He is swept round, rather, by Stokes, I think that was. How are you seeing it?
I should point out, Tony, that we're entirely neutral. We're just here for the lols. Okay?
Hello, LZ. I'll get to Kat perhaps after this ball. Give her a chance.
Sorry, Kat.
Give her assessment of proceedings. Got a lot of rain in Melbourne, that's for sure. And that's a swipe straight to mid-off, but all along the ground, with a cheerful smile from Cars. How are you seeing it, Kat?
It's just a shame we won't get a day 5. That's all.
Yeah. Down the wicket comes Bryden Cars, and he gets all of that. That is sailed into the Multan sky and straight down the ground for one of these.
With the super shatter, super shatter, super shatter, super shatter, super shatter, rocker, rocker, super shatter.
Yeah,
Was that a Super Chat 6?
What's a Super Chat 6? Yeah,
I
it's
think
a high.
what happened is someone did a Super Chat and asked Cast to hit a 6, and he did.
He's come down wicket again. He's repeated the same dose. This is great.
The second Super Chat.
It's amazing you can get runs without it sweeping.
I believe in miracles. Since you came to bat, you're 60 thing, you. I believe in miracles.
Well, yes.
It's a little disrespectful saying that Cast hitting 6s is a miracle.
He swept Messi, and he hasn't quite got the 4 because it's been cut off. Quite a good bit of fielding at deep square leg there. They come back for 2. He's moved on to 14 off 12, Bryden Cars.
And if you want Cast to hit another boundary, you're going to have to Super Chat us again.
Yeah, exactly correct. Well, look, this is a variation on a theme, like a couple of heavy metal songs late on in the innings, as it were. I mean, tried the more, don't know what the musical equivalent of sweeping is. In comes Sajid Khan. Over the wicket on this occasion. Defended. Oh, yes, no. Little bit of hesitancy. They decide against it. That's the end of the over. England 111 for 6, Messi.
Before I read any messages, I have to say it's Batman time.
Yeah, it's Batman. He's just been outside for a walk in the pissing rain, and so he's quite frisky. You know how they get when they're all wet.
Yeah. Oh, well, I think there should be super chats to recognise that. Hattie, sorry, not Hattie. The Duchess Hattie, Duchess of Hattie of the Hat or something. I'm one disgruntled Duchess now. I'm Brenda Over says, Mum, wonderful. Morning, wonderful Gorilla Cricket. Damn you, England. I want my cake and eat it. Stuck in traffic driving to Vlad the Impaler's castle. Need England to hold on for at least another 2 hours, not 2 more bloody minutes. Well, the GPL is open, hombre, until the 7th wicket falls, so get in. It's currently at 68 quid.
It's got to be one of the more ludicrously stupid sayings that there are. You can't have your cake and eat it. What's the point of having cake if you don't eat it? Round the wicket comes No Man to Stokes, who reverse sweeps, completely misses it, and just sort of hits his bat and trickles.
That was a brilliant attempt by Stokes to be out LBW. I mean, he obviously saw that ball and went, this is almost a perfect LBW chance. I'm going to try and miss a reverse sweep.
Failed in his mission. Round the wicket again comes Nauman, who was bowling beautiful, conventional. Another attempted reverse sweep, an attempted stumping, but the back foot is rooted to the spot. This is slightly shambolic cricket.
You'd think you might learn from Carson. You can actually hit straight and make runs. You know?
Yeah, you can.
This is trying to be as impressive as possible after Cars has hit that fabulous 6.
You can't say there's muddled thinking. That's the one thing you can't say. They've got a plan, and they are sticking to it. Whether it's the right plan, I leave the score of 111 for 6 for you to determine. And that's a reverse sweep past the man at leg slip. And the man that, I suppose long leg comes round, and that's they come back for a couple. Stokes has moved on to 27 off 26, by the way. Could something be rumbling here? Probably not.
Your stomach.
It's really interesting that was a glorious attempt, by the way, at a slip catch by the leg slip. And leg slips, I guess, are not always completely prepared for that kind of wide delivery. So I think that's great. Good dive.
Yeah, it's very good. No leg slip on this occasion to the left-handed Stokes. It comes down the wickets and pulls out. Just opposite his feet, back to the bowler.
I would like to see No Man get a 5 for here. He's certainly in the running for it. 4 for 40. A few wickets still on the table.
He's got a very pleasant face, and he's got a bit of a middle-aged face, but it's perfectly pleasant. You would imagine if you were.
Yes, I think you're being kind. He looks about 55.
Cheery uncle. Reverse sweep time from Ben Stokes, and it trickles about 10 yards out. And no run accrues.
This is the reverse sweep hour. Have you got a jingle?
55 is middle-aged, Cat, isn't it?
I guess so. I think we need a reverse sweep jingle. I'm sure we've got one. I'm going to send Tony off to try and find it.
Maybe we can make one up. Round the wicket comes now, and onto the back foot and defended in more or less conventional manner to square leg. And they come through for a single. Stokes onto 28. A runnable 28 off 29, almost.
Oh, we have a super chat. Frank Rockefeller has very kindly sent us $20. He says, do the English still call each other squire? If not, I'll own it. So Frank is now squire for the day as a result of a very generous super chat. Thanks, Frank.
YouTube Prime Super Chat.
Thank you, Squire.
There were a couple of tweets I didn't do earlier on because I was on with Gary and there just wasn't time.
Really?
But West Aussie Leeds says, I know we're batting on a day 25 wickets, but I can't see how we can get close to those evil Aussies with our current top 3.
Sajid bowls a ball that spins a lot, and Stokes really had to reach for that one. That was first ball. The second ball, a reasonably orthodox shot, a thick outside edge with a man at the 45 on the offside, no run.
And this other one, Anna Forsyth says, Tony wasn't on my short list of gorillas to do erotic audio books, but clearly he had a talent for it.
Well, take that. We that's a big sweep, and it's gone for 4. So yes, you can get boundaries off sweeps. Messy, it turns out.
Yeah. Oh yes, but you could also get out of it awfully easily.
2, 3, 4.
I don't know what
Bit
you
of a
think.
textbook sweep there from Stokes. It looked extraordinarily good, and I really like the way the spinners are rushing both casts, but mainly Stokes, so that Stokes hasn't got time to think about whether is this a real sweep or a reverse sweep. Uh-oh, I'm hitting a ball again.
Yes, that's well defended by Stokes. It's bad news for the summariser on Guerrilla Cricket, the speed they're going. It's quite hard to get to.
There's no time to summarise anything, actually, but I do like the fact that we got a super chat and then a boundary immediately.
Yes.
And the wicket comes again, and that's sort of defended to Stokes, who whisper it. Might be getting into his stride and reading things just a little bit. That should spell his doom. He moves on to 33. Cars will take the last ball of the over.
100. Come on, Stokes. We want to see you get a century. It's been a minute.
Well, if the miracle did occur, we would all have eggs on our face. Egg on our faces, but wouldn't that be fun? It's not going to happen.
That would be so much fun. Stokes has form. He's done it before. He likes these clutch situations.
And he's got Leach to come too.
That is true. And that's, how to describe that? It's kind of like a baby ramp round the corner, perhaps. It'll scoop round the corner to long leg by cars.
All of Stokes' shot selection defies description.
Absolutely.
The end of the 27th over, 1-2-1 for 6.
So Lugal says, better to die on your feet basballing than live on your knees playing out a boring draw.
Yes.
Squire Rockefeller says, live free or die. And Leah says, die with your basballs on, perhaps. I just also wanted to point out to Gary that the rule about crossing when there's a catch in the air applies in Test cricket in the same way as it does in white ball cricket. You don't cross anymore. The reason he thought they hadn't crossed, they had crossed, was because Stokes actually got a single off the next ball. Kieran Rosebud says, good morning. England are cooked here. Great that it's a competitive series. Surely it'll be a new pitch next test. Well, it'll be a new ground. But as far as we know, we're playing at Rawalpindi.
As far as we know, although this being Pakistan, never say never. It could be days 13, 14, 15, 16 next time on this. And that's swept. And swept all the way by Stokes.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It was a reverse sweep. Right off middle stump. Didn't want to miss that one. But he actually nailed it. So the strategy is bearing fruit.
Yeah, he got all of that. That was a glorious reverse sweep. Best of the day. Well, the first one I've seen, I was taking the dogs for a walk before.
in this, wow. Did you get out between showers? Round the wicket comes the man. And look,
laughing.
Stokes is gone. He came a long way down the wicket. He either got bowled or stumped. I think bowled.
Stumped, I think.
Okay, right. So he's out for 37 off 35. Some bemused looks, it's fair to say, from some of the England supporters, and some desultory clapping from Pakistanis who have begun to expect that the end is quite close. 125 for 7.
I won't look back. By the time that I do, you'll be gone.
Oh, Kat, you can do comedy.
I can't. I've got a coughing fit from describing this ball. Stokes has taken 2 or 3 strides down the pitch. He's thrown his bat vertically in the air about 100 metres. And in the meantime, he has been stumped. He's turned around. I don't know if he caught the bat or not. Did anyone see that? But it was very funny, and you have to go and watch the replay immediately.
Oh, dear. And he was stumped by half the length of the pitch. Yeah, it was...
Where did his bat end up? Did his bat end up on the roof?
But I liked also the fact that once he had been stumped, Stokes was looking as if to say, if only I had my bat in my hand, I could have reached back and not been stumped. No, you couldn't, not unless the bat was 3 yards long.
I tell you what, if you're going to be stumped, you may as well throw your bat away, and then you do have that excuse, don't you?
Yeah.
True. I mean, went down stumped in flames there. So I think that is drinks. Are we behind at all on...
a little bit. Oh, but I got to say, I did say that Kat and I were here for the laughs, and gee, we got dividends in those, didn't we? Nick Cook says, I'm off to my local park to practice my one-handed drive with sandwich. Well, yeah, it'll be more successful than Stokes' no-handed drives, that's for sure. Ombre Nueva says, I stopped doing the GPL on the last day as either a target makes it wrong or like today I'll be backing England to lose. Can't do that either. Oh, I've got to say to you, Ombre, sometimes you've got to take the chances. I bet on South Africa to win the World Cup 22-1 because it was ridiculous odds. And now they're
Oh my God, did
odds-on
you? That's
favourites.
great.
Yeah. Well, when
I had a bet on them
before
too,
England
Messi.
lost-
I won $50
Yeah.
on South Africa last night.
Oh, well, you obviously bet more than me. I only put $5 on them at 22-1, but I didn't really think it would get up, but I thought it was ridiculously good value, so I took it. I also got 10. I got New Zealand at 10-1 in this Test match. 10-1 in any Test match before it starts is ridiculous. Anyhow,
7 wickets down, by the way. The
Leah.
GPL is closed. It is shut for
Oh,
the
yes.
day. It is no more for this test.
This is an ex-GP.
It's an ex-GPL for this test.
Leah says, hi, Cat. I'm Red
Hello,
Rover
Leah.
says, you must play the GPL, you must. Well, we would if we could, but we can't. Squire
Next
Rockefeller
test.
says, if Stokes pull this out, they need to rush him a knighthood. Well, they've got over that dilemma. And Lagul, aka Mog, says, those New Zealanders are 300 ahead now. Yeah, that's pretty good. And Tony Bishop of this parish, quite literally, says Ben was running towards the golf course there. Yes, I think that's probably a good observation, Tony. That's almost certainly where he's going to be this afternoon.
Yeah, it's
Well,
certainly good day, or good week for embarrassments. If England lose this one, Australia lost in the semi-final of the World Cup last night, and India, of course, was out under 50 in their Test match. So the big three are just getting I don't know, getting their asses shown to them or something.
Well, a question
South
for you,
Africa were
Kat,
brilliant last night.
question for you, Kat, is will you actually get any ball by ball? We've got 12 minutes, and the chances of 3 wickets falling in those 12 minutes must be
That's
fairly
right.
even money, I would have thought.
This could be the last session for the Test.
Oh, it will be, I think. Noman Ali into Potts, who is the new batsman, who batted reasonably well in the first innings until he got a ball between his legs. Oh, that bat! Just seeing that replay again of Stokes throwing that.
We're still not sure if the bat has landed.
No, it's still
It could still be in the sky.
circling Multan somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's presumably that was Noman. Yes, Noman's got his 5-4 as well. So well
Yes.
done, him. Is it the cheery uncle has got his 5-4?
Do we have a jingle for 5 for Tony?
Do you know what? I was just looking. I'm not sure we do, but I'm sure Mog or Jeff or Senior Peel or someone who's listening will tell me we do. Give me a clue what to look for, guys, and I'll find it.
5-4.
Your
Noman.
guess is gonna vote.
No, don't know. Noman, 2 slips, a short leg, and an immaculate forward defensive, showing his elders and betters how it's done from Potts.
I did ask for a Stokes century, but I also asked for a no-man 5-far, and I was never getting both of them, was I?
You don't get everything you want for Christmas.
No.
You didn't get the scale electric, but you did get the tangerine. No man, Ali, there's 3 slips, and that's defended very nicely by Potts, and that's the end of the over. At the end of the 28th, England 125 for 7.
You're never going to let that one go, are you? Poor thing. It's burned you for life, obviously. Oh dear. Squire Rockefeller just says grief. Leah says, if anyone needs more cricket today, click on my channel. I'll do the New Zealand versus West Indies semi-final today in English. I have added to help us keep us company for the second innings. And Lugal says there is indeed a 5-4 jingle, probably with a 5 in the title, Tony. That's a bit sneaky.
And now, in comes who else but Sajid. And there is a mighty wahoo. It's gone high into the sky. Is there a man underneath it, or is there some concrete underneath it?
6.
Thinks it is.
I'm finding the 5 for jingle.
Oh, okay. You're finding there's 5.
So which would you like first? We probably better do the 6 jingle first, hadn't we?
Do the 6.
Yeah.
Right. Here you go. You can talk over it.
Oh, okay. Then that ball was defended by Bryden Cars, who is showing, perhaps, out of all the England batsmen, the correct balance between defence and attack, one might say. That said, I don't know what he did there. He sort of hit down the wicket as if, are you talking to me? Did you spill my pint? I'm not quite sure what happened to the ball. Now we're looking at a washing machine from Super 8.
I think he kneed it away, and then they were going to take a run, and then they went, no, it's a dead ball.
Oh, okay.
Better not.
Things are getting a little surreal. Yeah.
I actually think it went through his legs and went off the wicketkeeper's head.
Is that what happened?
I'm not sure,
Right?
but it was the weirdest thing.
It was odd. Anyway, Bryden Carr's back on strike, 5th ball of the over. Sajid throws that one up a little further. He gets more spin. The big appeal turned down by the umpire. They've got 3 in their back pocket. They might as well, surely.
I thought he edged it onto his pads.
That would be a good reason not to review, of course. Shan Masood's... Yeah, he's going to review. Unless he's clapping.
Okay.
Well, while he does, I'm going to play this.
Oh, okay.
What a great jingle. That's turning so much it's going to miss leg, I think.
Well, that's
I don't think there is an edge on it after all.
That is the problem
Missed
for
it
the
by
off,
some way.
that it either hits outside the line or it goes on to miss leg. It's very difficult when it's turning this much for the off spinner to get an FPW.
Yeah.
It's one or the other. It's either outside, it's very hard to see how that is both hitting in line and hitting the stumps.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think at best it's umpire's call on the off stump hitting and then missing the leg stump almost certainly.
Ooh, I found another 5 for jingle as well.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, missing. Yeah, both of those.
Here's this one.
Umpire's call on off missing.
Oh, it's the same one. It's the same one with different titles. That's ridiculous.
You're just saying double.
No, it's just the same.
Bit of chaos reigning. Well,
They lost their review there.
Well, they've got 2 left. They'll probably be okay. That's swept round the corner. Is there anyone down there? Yes, of course there is. There's a long leg. They've come through for a single. At the end of the over, Cars has moved rather nicely on to 25 of 21. He'll keep the strike. And England 132 for 7.
Lugal Mog is saying, what a bunch of jingles for tonight, Leah. And she says, I'll never say no to that, even though it means I have to figure out how to play them on air. Oh, and it's always a learning exercise. The Dowager Duchess says, is there currently a match or am I asleep and dreaming? Well, it's a comedy show that's masquerading as cricket at the moment, Hattie. So, yeah, enjoy.
I think the funniest batters are gone now. It's a bit of a shame, really. We've got some very unfunny batting going on at the moment, haven't we, Forby?
I think my all-time favourite dismissal, and we'll come back to it after this one. I think you probably know the one I'm thinking of. No man gets a bit of turn, but it's too short. Was where Inzamam swept himself in such a circle that he threw himself back onto his own stumps. Most undignified.
Yeah.
No man in again. There's just a short leg and a slip. That's all there is. And this is some normal cricket is breaking out here. Defended by Bryden.
And just a minute ago, Cass was on 24. He just took a single, so now it's 25. But was that 4 sixes? Is that how he got to 24?
I don't think so.
He had that feeling. I don't think it was, but
No.
Two of them were sixes, I think, and the rest were.
He's got 3 sixes.
Has he got 3? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, he's opened himself up with a reverse hoik, which just goes straight to the man at square leg. Not on the bounce, I hasten to add.
I have now got the scorecard open, as a good summariser should do, and I'll be able to tell you all of the boundary stats from now on.
There was a very long list inherited from Russ about things that how to commentate when we did some stuff from Australia. Maybe written by you.
I think it was written by me.
Yeah, it might well have been. It's details, and I liked it.
Were you the person who read it? Oh, somebody read it.
Yeah, that's right. Somebody read it.
And I'm the person who read it. That may have been a potential quarter bowl, but it came back so fast. Those things either stick or they don't, and generally they don't. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, it was coming back extremely fast. Nearly took Kuma Dharmasena out as it went as well. They just come through for a single. Must have hurt his hand. No, he seems all right.
Well, to get a hand to it.
It was Chris Gaffney, not Kuma Dharmasena.
Speaking of Dharmasena, seeing as Alim Dar is now a Pakistan selector, I'm just wondering if we could allocate umpires around the world to their own selection panels and how that would go. It'd be interesting, have Michael Goff selecting for England.
You want Billy Bowden selecting for you?
Joel Wilson would probably accidentally select a whippet.
And that's left well alone. This the 2 slips and a point hovering for Matthew Potts. He decides that discretion is the better part of valour. He's got to survive this one ball, and then it's back over for the Here in My Cars show.
The equation, England need 164 runs, Pakistan need 3 wickets.
Ever closer, ever closer. Defended off the back foot quite technically correctly by Potts, and that's the end of the 30th. England 133 for 7. I think we've got time for one more over.
Lugal says to you, Tony, well found, Tony, twice. That's it on YouTube at the moment.
Okay. Did you go for a walk in the rain, Kat, with the dogs?
Yes, I always take the dogs whether it's raining or not. And I always put on my gumboots or my hiking boots and my raincoat. I usually don't take an umbrella. I just go out into the rain, and the dogs just run around without coats on, and then they have a shower when we get back.
Yeah, I know exactly the spot where you're going for a walk as well. I ride my bike along there. Well, that's defended by Sajid to Cast, defended by Cast. I sometimes look up on your balcony, but you never are when I go past.
Not often.
Sajid in again. Down the wickets comes Cars. That pulls out of anything too dramatic and just defends it. Just having a look at a ball, I think, from the last over.
It wasn't a catch. It was short of...
Very short. I don't know why we're bothering looking at that. And that's spun so much it spun past everything and was sort of stopped rather than caught by Rizwan.
And Sajid, who's been carted for lots of sixes by Cass, has a great strategy with his bowling now, which I'll tell you about in a minute.
And that's swept by Cars effectively. Down to deep square leg. He'll come through for a single and he'll entrust Matthew Potts with 2 balls.
And he has managed to somehow, I think with a bit more round arm, flatten his delivery so significantly that I'm not sure that Cars could get underneath it. And as a result, he's being swept. But I think it's a good variation. I'm not quite sure how he's managing it, not being a spinner.
It's a variation, but why? Not quite sure why he needs it when it's turning quite so much. But yeah, again.
Well, Cass has, I think all the sixes have come from his bowling.
He's got 9 wickets in the match. And that's a big sweep from Potts. And take that, Messi. It's gone for 4.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
The plan is working.
I should say that Dave Wood has pointed out on Twitter that Stokes has become the first cricketer to take out a satellite with a bat.
Very good, very good. This is the last ball of our time together, and it's a rather extravagant reverse sweep that, in typical style, completely missed by Potts. At the end of the 31st over, England 138 for 7. I doubt I'll see you again, but you never know.
Okay, thanks, Forthy. Tony, the next tweet is from Lugal about the cars idea.
Thank you.
And catch you later. Thanks, Kike.
And we're joined by the one and only Billy Stevens.
Morning, Tony.
And
G'day.
Kat, of course.
Hello, Kat.
Hi there, Billy. And Tony, you're on socials, ain't you?
I am indeed, yes.
Uh-huh.
First of all, I'm
shame really. The end is nigh for England, really, isn't it, Kat? Yeah, it's a shame. I was hoping Root might be able to do something magnificent this morning.
It could happen in this next half an hour, anyway. A step back, and this one is slapped into the covers by Cass and fielded neatly there, so he can't get any more runs for the minute. What do you think of Cass hitting these massive sixes, Billy?
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's very entertaining. I mean, there's no point in him just knocking it around. He may as well have some fun.
Yeah, may as well have some fun. So no man is around the wicket. He plants a ball into the leg stump and Cass just defends it to the short fielder. So a few fielders clustered around the bat now here on the offside slips and silly mid-off. We're on day 4. We're in session 1. The sessions may not proceed beyond here because England are imminently about to go out. 159 runs still needed. Tailenders coming in. But for the minute, we have a couple of batters who are trying to score. So Cass takes a couple of steps down the pitch and attempts to wind up, and there's a stumping here. Looks like
I think they're going to the edge,
caught.
Kat, but I think they're looking to the edge, but I thought it just turned massively straight.
I thought that turned too far.
I don't think
I'm
he's
with you.
hit this. Okay, so there's a review here.
He dumped down the pitch and it spun an absolute mile straight into the hands of first slip. I almost thought he was going to just throw it at the stumps and stump him, but he didn't. So he obviously thought he'd nicked it.
Yes.
But I don't think he's got anywhere near it. They're looking at the wrong replay at the moment.
Yeah,
I don't think he's got anywhere near it. I just thought it spun so sharply that it's just missed everything. But we'll get a definitive answer.
Oh,
yeah.
Looking
looks
at
like
that,
he has edged this. He's smashed it actually. Has it gone neatly into the hands of
why would he review it if he's edged it?
Oh, that's gone.
Oh, he has.
I guess he's reviewing it because why not, and his last chance to hit another 6. But no, this one was not 6. This one was into the hands of slip, and that is the end of him. And No Man now has 6 wickets. Let's get a jingle for the...
On your bike, mate.
Oh, well. It was a short one, but it was a good one there from... Actually, Cass has done his job, hasn't he, Billy, for his position?
Well, he's done his job with the bat, but I've actually been very impressed with him overall since he's come back. Well, since his debut. No, he's done well. He's done well in Pakistan. Not an easy place at all, rather. And I mean, it'll be interesting because, of course, he hasn't bowled that many overs in this test, so it'll be interesting to see if he is selected again for Rawalpindi. You'd assume that Gus Atkinson will probably come back in, most likely for Matty Potts. I'm not sure if Wokes will come back in though. I get the impression that that it will be Carson Atkinson in the next test, but you never know.
You think it'll be Carson Atkinson or Potts?
Well, Carson Atkinson, because you'd assume that Pakistan are going to try. Well, I mean, this is obviously a 9th day pitch now, but you'd assume that they're going to try and create something similar or as close to.
We've got a jingle for Jack Leach.
Coming up, here's a face that I know. It's Jack Leach. Now coming up is Jack Leach. Oh, Jack Leach.
And I think No Man would like these next 2 wickets. He's already got 6. 3 balls down in this over. He's coming around the wicket. It's a thought, will I reverse sweep this by Jack Leach? And instead he just watches the ball harmlessly go through to the keeper and everyone has a bit of a laugh.
that would be more of a switch hit. He got him to position so early. Well, no one would like this attitude, but Sajid, I think, needs one more wicket for a 10-for, does he, in the match? So I think he'll be more keen.
Yes, could be. And this one again, another attempt at either the switch or the reverse. And Leach is coming out all guns blazing. It feels like the coach might have a bet on who can do the most ridiculous shot, or the most ridiculous shot to go out, perhaps, Billy.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, as we've said, I just think they're having a bit of fun, really messing around. 2 wickets left.
Left armour to left armour. This one is defended. Looked like Leach closed his eyes and just kind of threw a bat at that one as well. So he may not be here for very long. A wicket maiden for no man at the end of the over.
Mr. Handjob of Melbourne. Oh, sorry, Lugal says, I'm starting to think the cast idea forecast is somewhat better than my cast rhymes with arsed effort. I blame Bear for that, or maybe Knackle. Yeah, probably Knackle. Oh no, that's so. He's talking about the double labelling of the same jingle. Nick Cook. Hello, Nick. Somewhere, am I right, Nick? In Meribel. Whilst practicing my one-handed golfer, cricket bat landed in the pond far out. The Dowager Duchess of Hat says we're saying hello to Nick. Really, Frank Rockefeller says bowlers just want to have fun, summoning his inner Cyndi Lauper. Cat Martin.
Potts on strike, and Potts has got the memo about sweeping, and he's sweeping out to the sweeper, who is out there through square, and they get a run. Well,
I'll just finish that one, Cat.
The score, I haven't said the score for a while. 139 for 8.
Yeah, it was because it's to you. Cat Martin says, "Ooh, free mic. Is Cat gonna break into song? Are you? Can you? Is that a secret? Happen. Is that a talent you have that we don't know about?
Absolutely not. And not even for a super. It would have to be a significant super chat.
Well, there's a chat, right? Significant super chat.
Oh my God! Quickly,
Cat will sing for you.
What counts as significant?
Oh well, anything over $2.
Anyway, so Judy's bowling again. There are 2 slips and a short square, and this one's squirted off the edge out into the offside, and that's Leach.
Noman and Sajid have bowled every single over of this innings so far. All of 32 between them.
What an effort. We presume that Pakistan won't drop them for the next test, and that the next ball is defended, and I have Batman on my knee saying, I don't know what he's saying to me. Perhaps he's saying it's dinner time. Not yet, puppy. Not yet.
Oh, he's probably saying holy reverse sweep.
2 slips and a silly mid-off. This one is spanked through the middle of all of them, and it goes out through point for a single.
Yes, Sajid's bowled nicely. He always looked the most threatening of the Pakistan bowlers as soon as we saw him in that very first over, because of course Pakistan only the 1-seamer, so he bowled the second over of the game. How many overs have Jamal actually bowled in this test? I'll look that up, because they've been vindicated in their selection.
Yes, indeed, and this time with absolutely no footwork, this ball is reverse swept, and it's gone all the way to the boundary. That's
Right, yes. Let's see, who have we got? Quite a lot of action, actually. Mr. Henderson, Jeremy of this parish. He needs England to be dismissed for 139 or 149 to win the GPL.
Ooh, it's on.
Riley wants to know what happened to the English cricket team. Well, they've been sweeping their way to probably almost certain defeat, but it's been entertaining somehow. That Leach jingle, says Leah, sent me down a Chris Rea-shaped rabbit hole. Cat's gonna bust a freestyle, yo, says Mr. Handjob. Batman, says Leah.
I do not even know what that means.
And appearance fee for Batman for as a super chat from Jeremy Henderson.
Yeah, yes. Now we almost have a star field here. We just need one more in close, but we have a leg slip and a conventional slip and a short leg, and Leach manages to defend a ball away from all of those fielders. It's 144 for 8. We're in our 34th over. Potts is at the non-striker end, and it's no man who's bowling. This is popped up to the square leg, and that is out. That is another wicket for no man, And that is the end of Leach. God, he hasn't reviewed it, has he, Billy? What's he doing?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe he just thinks he may as well. But you can almost play the jingle now, Tony. He definitely edged it, I think.
Well, it looked out to me, I've got to say, but I'll hang
just pressed
fire.
forward off the inside edge. What I couldn't tell is if it came off a bit of pad as well.
Yes, benefit of the doubt to Leach, I guess.
But I mean, you know, I'd assume he's just nicked it onto his pad and it's popped up. But maybe it went straight to the man. Maybe he got nothing on it at all.
Yeah,
Yes, edged. Inside edge onto pad. We can see on that replay, although, of course, they'll go through the rigmarole of going through ultra edge and everything, and it comes up now. And yes, there's a nice little spike into the inside half of his pad and pops up to the short leg fielder. And Leach goes.
Shall I jingle him now, or shall we wait for the official verdict?
So. I think you may as well.
Oh, shitty shit. This is really fucking bad.
No.
There it was.
But
good jingle.
Yeah, and he is given out. Just on that Jamal that I mentioned earlier, he's bowled 6 overs in this test match. I mean, I would have been fascinated to see if England had won the toss and batted first to see what would have, because the first day was the only day that the ball did absolutely nothing.
I think it would have been a very different game.
Yeah,
I don't know what Kat thinks, but I mean, the Pakistan game plan to a certain extent did rely on winning the toss. It was a gamble. A day 9 pitch, day 8 pitch was always going to break up, wasn't it?
I mean, you'd think, however much they can get the pitch to turn next week in Rawalpindi, you'd think it wouldn't be as much as this, or at least deteriorate as quickly as this. Of course, this is a day 9 pitch, so you'd think they're going to have to go with 2 seamers, wouldn't you say?
I think Jamal. I mean, yeah, I would definitely say you need more seamers next time for both teams, but Jamal's definitely contributed with the pat, right? Like, he's done incredibly well. He got 37 in the first innings.
Was a slight fitness question, though, I think, Kat, about Jamal as well.
Yes, that's right.
Well,
I may not be Jamal.
And a big no ball problem as well.
Yeah.
He bowls a lot of them, which really shouldn't be doing at this level.
Here's the new
I don't think they could select. They couldn't select Jamal because of fitness, but he has contributed.
Go.
I mean, England, I think, will go with a similar makeup to this side. I think the bowlers will just be switched. I just think Atkinson will be in for Potts, but you never know. We'll see how Cast pulls up in training, I guess. But it'll be fascinating.
I think it's great. It's wonderful to have a poised series, though, isn't it, Billy? To have a win for each side. I think it's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. And interesting to see what the crowd will be like. It looks like, what? Oh, they're shaking hands.
Well, they've actually managed to miss that. Not our fault.
There's been a break in transmission, but we have got another wicket, and it's Noman Ali bowling to Bashir, out, caught by Shafiq. An excellent catch, and Pakistan have won. Bashir is out, caught 4-0 for a duck, and end of the game.
That's rather anticlimactic, but a fantastic performance by Pakistan. They've fully deserved it.
Then he waddled away, waddle.
Well, that was extraordinary. I should point out to everybody that absolutely wasn't our fault. There was a complete break in transmission. Transmission reappeared, and when it reappeared, everyone was shaking hands and walking off. So, well done, the local broadcaster or whatever sequence of satellites and internet wiring gets it from Multan to round the world. But that was just nuts. Did anyone actually see what happened?
I've got absolutely no idea, but do you know that it's Masood's first victory as captain, so that'll be a big weight off his shoulders, and you'd have seen Gillespie's first as coach as well. So it's a big weight off both their shoulders. They've done very well.
I don't think we've seen a replay yet, actually.
Well,
but
they may not have a replay.
No,
because
they may not.
Caught by Shafiq, bowled Noman. So
we've just got the over by over.
He picks up 8, does he?
It's similar. Popped up again and
just popped up.
Shoveled to forward short.
Just popped up. Yeah.
And his 8th wicket, absolutely right. But I can tell you that only courtesy of our friends at Cricinfo, who unfortunately have the text commentary appended to each wicket pretty quickly.
Unfortunately for no man as well, 2 wickets at the end of the game mean you're on a hat trick, stranded on a hat trick, right? To never ever be able to fulfil it.
Well, he's got next test. You'd assume he'll play, so he'll have a chance then, but he'll have to wait a while.
Right, let me do some quick messages, and then Kat can talk us through things. But there's some nice discussion points here. Jeff Ricks, didn't think this would be over before I did the school run today. Well, no, it's a very rapid conclusion, Jeff. But I hope the school run went well. Yehan Ariatnam has kindly donated us one of these.
YouTube Prime Super Chat.
And have we established that baseball doesn't work out on turning tracks? And thoughts rate India being destroyed by New Zealand at home? We will come back to both of those in just a second, because I think that will form part of our concluding discussion. I blame Elon Musk, says, for the broadcast skips. It says Lugal, as he's supposed to be known for today. The GPL is safe again, says Jeremy Henderson. So that will go into the pot for the next test, which we're pretty sure is going to be Rawalpindi. Fingers crossed. Right, should we tackle that question first? Kat, what are your thoughts on these? Is that the death of... does baseball just not work when it turns? You've got the body of India's, experience as well there, haven't we?
Yeah, I think baseball is always worth a try. Surely it'll work once, so they'll persist with it. Well, I guess it's more the question of does it work or not. Maybe it doesn't, but I think they're going to continue with it anyway.
Tony, it didn't work in India for us before baseball. So why wouldn't
you? May as well try it.
I think that's not too harsh. I disagree with that statement. I think it works.
I think it's the old. It's England will need to learn to tweak, adapt. And today was just the approach was we're going to sweep everything. Doesn't matter what it is, we're going to sweep.
Well, there's an argument to say,
it didn't
Tony,
work.
The highest run score was Stokes, 37 off 36.
Yeah, and look at how he got
fiddled around. Yeah, sure, but I mean, you're going to get some rogue. Just as you can say that the dismissal of Crawley and Duckett's annoying. Duckett going for a hard swoop early on, and the new ball bouncing and top edging it, and Crawley getting down the pitch against stumps. But they could easily just be out prodding forward and nicking it.
Yeah, but Kat, I've got a question for you. If you look at the toss, even then, England let the tail get away. There was that fantastic knock from the debutant, and in the second innings, 2 drop catches in 3 balls, and once more, easily you could argue there that got Pakistan an extra 60 or 70 runs that they simply shouldn't have got. If you look at you could look at the bowling that would have set up a very different game. Batting last on this track is never going to be easy in the subcontinent. When you're talking about day 9 on of a pitch, etc. Effectively, had England taken their chances, the position would have been very different, and that 155 that they've just made, or I think it was 155, would actually have been competitive, and probably the magnitude of chase that they would have actually been faced with. So I don't think you can just look at the batting and say, it doesn't work. I think you've got to look at the other things that led to the total being the chase total that it was. What do you think?
Certainly there were a lot of opportunities for England to restrict Pakistan's batting that they didn't really take. So, and look, they won by 152. So maybe there was, it just would have been closer. It just would have been, maybe they would have batted differently if there wasn't such a big gap to make up in that 4th innings. And I think there's always a chance of winning on a 4th innings. Absolutely, always the chance. And Stokes, I think, would agree with that. He knows there's always a chance to win. It's just a myth that you can't win with a 4th innings, even on a terrible pitch. So I don't think the toss had that much to do with it. I think Pakistan were always going to win after dropping all those players and being completely crazy about their selection, and it's just setting it up to be a fabulous series now. The third match will be incredible, I think.
The only thing you might argue, Billy, I don't know what you think, England, and it's all capped in hindsight from here, isn't it? But you know, the reality is, if one more spinner, frontline spinner, maybe Rayan Ahmed, because I'm not sure what your other frontline choices are, might have been a good idea. I'm not sure I agree. Is the pitch for a day and for best part of 2 days, the pitch was in really good order. Get first batting use on it. If England had piled on 350, 400, then Jack Leach and Bashir, remember what, didn't take a fifer in the second Pakistan innings eventually. You know, he's less experienced. Jack Leach is very experienced. You've got the spinning horsepower there. If you'd have put on a decent total, to have created a different result, and it would have been very different if England had been bowling last on this track. That said, stupid shots, a bit of daft cricket, one approach and one approach only. I take all of that 100% on board. I just think you've got to look not just at that, you've got to look at why the Pakistan total was as big as it was.
Well, it wasn't that much bigger than England, though, Tony. It was only 60 runs more.
In second innings, the drops gave a lot of runs away.
Just on that, well, just on all this. Well, firstly, I think the toss pretty much, with hindsight, of course, pretty much decided the match. I think if England had won the toss with the makeup of that Pakistan side, I think we would have annihilated them, to be honest. But it's difficult to say. And I think, you can say England could have picked another spinner, but frankly, reverse swing was crucial for England in removing the Pakistan wickets between either side of T on day one. So I don't think, I think it's difficult to argue that. Pakistan got best use of the pitch, and yes, they used it well. Cameron Gulam batted fantastically to compile that century. And look, you've got to give credit to Pakistan. I think one of the best things England have done with Bazball, which almost goes under the radar because everyone looks at the run rates that we score at, is that our ability to take 20 wickets in such difficult situations. And we're not going to be able to do it every time, but historically that's been one of our best attributes. And look, it's all set up for a fascinating conclusion in Rawalpindi.
And the fielding positions, really, right?
The
England's fielding positions are very Bazball as well. They were glorious, weren't they?
Yeah, England's fielding positions were good. We're always going to be inventive. I mean, just on the drop catches you mentioned there, Tony. Yeah, I mean, the Root and Smith, I think it was, both dropping Salmon in the second innings, which of course did add.
There's 50 or 60 there.
Right, about 50 60. Which
so take that 50 or 60 off, the total becomes just a shade over 200.
Yeah.
Shade over 200.
Listen,
but
guys,
I think you can't say that every. I think
you're
can't say that
reinventing this match with England rose-coloured glasses on, which is ridiculous. Pakistan won fair and square. No man
100%
bowled them to a victory. It was fabulous from Pakistan.
It was.
And they deserved the win.
It was, and I agree. So I'm not disagreeing with that point.
Just analysing, we've agreed that
all I'm disagreeing with
and deserve to win.
Because Kat's enjoying winding us up now, which is absolutely fine.
I am winding you up.
All I'm saying is don't just blame the definitely sort of rather one-track approach that England had in the fourth innings. Have a close look at some of the issues which led to the fact that the chase was as big as the chase was. It didn't need to be. Once Pakistan won the toss, they were always going to be favourites, and they executed to that plan superbly. I think Sajid Khan is a joy to watch, although he can be a bit expensive, but that really didn't matter in the context of the game. I thought Noman Ali did exactly what an experienced spinner brought back out of the cold at the age of 37 should do, and he absolutely finished the job superbly. Well done, Pakistan. Superb win for them. Tees up the series magnificently. I was simply just answering the question, and the question was, is it about, does today mean Bazball never works? I think that's not the case, but I think because you have to look beyond just what you saw today and the kind of slightly myopic approach that England had in the way they went about things today. You've got to look at other things around it, and that isn't just baseball. That's just basic execution of some core skills. Catches win matches, and when we missed them twice, we let Pakistan put more runs on the board than they should have done. That's nothing to do with baseball, but it would have made today a very different setup. But you can't reinvent
And
history.
Also, though, I think what Tony and Billy, I would say is that if I was going to guess what's going to happen in the third test, I think England are favourites. Like I think England have got the edge here over Pakistan.
It's going to put a lot of spotlight on the pitch, Kat, isn't it?
Yeah.
What they do to it.
It all depends on the pitch. If they serve up a flatty, which you'd assume they'll try not to,
they
then
won't.
I think England's favourites. England. The one thing England have struggled with in recent years is removing the tail, which is kind of on the back of
it
what
is.
you've
It's been a consistent theme.
Tony.
Yeah.
It has been a consistent problem. You know, Jamal with 37 and Noman Ali with a vital 32, batting at 10. You just can't really afford for that to happen, especially on this pitch. You know, if they get 20 runs less each, that's another 40 runs off. I mean, this is all hindsight, so it's very easy to say. But you know, England. I think the scoreboard reflects a bit harshly on England. You know, I think it was a raging Bunsen by the end. But the other thing, of course, is, you know, we were so magnificent with the bat in the first Test match. It's very difficult for players to go again. You know, Root and Brook, you've scored, you know, mammoth runs. Brook 100, Root 260 odd. See, players don't historically back that up with more runs. It just doesn't seem to happen. So I wasn't necessarily expecting them to get many runs in this Test match, and that's what proved. But sadly, the others couldn't necessarily stand up, and Ollie Pope is under serious pressure, you'd have to say.
I mean, I would also take. Look, I mean, I will say again, Pakistan were magnificent, and where they were magnificent was, I think, really interesting. I think you have to look at Cameron Ghulam in the first innings. Who would have expected that on debut? He was superb. You take that score out, but then, you know, big scores build innings, don't they?
Take Duckett's out, you could say.
Exactly. So
you know, we scored nothing.
He was magnificent.
You're right. The highlights were Ghulam. I mean, that's so wonderful when someone on debut gets a century. It's just so exciting. When that
so
goes
that
on.
was
But
fantastic.
also,
the two spinners,
really
superb.
You know, the fourth innings from Stokes and Cass was actually pretty fun too today. That was glorious. So
I mean, you had
good
Sajid
signs
Khan 7 wickets in the first innings. You had Noman Ali. Was it 8 in the end?
Eight
8 wickets. I mean, yeah, they went for a few, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They did what they were supposed to do on a track that they were brought in specifically to do it on, and they did it quite superbly.
Khan and Noman took all 20 wickets. Like they took between them all of the wickets, which is pretty incredible.
Ooh,
Ghulam, of course, don't forget, you know, he's come in for Babar Azam, one of the greatest cricketers that Pakistan have ever had. So that's
he'll be dropped, won't he? Will he be dropped for the next?
You can't drop a man who's made 100.
No
way.
Azam won't play. Azam won't play. You'd think he's having a break, but you know, the pressure of coming in for one of Pakistan's greatest ever cricketers is not something to be sniffed at, and it was a magnificent century. And same Ayub, don't forget, as well, scored 77.
Yeah, he did
at the top
he did
of the order as
superbly.
well. So that was very good. But the England wickets was shared around. You know, Cost with 3, Potts with 2. So we did need the 2 seamers. It's just that the straight after tea on day 2, I think it was. You know, it turned an extra. The graphic came up was that it was turning.
Have you ever seen the film The Untouchables, Billy?
No.
Sean Connery does a series of terrible accents in an attempt to be an Irish policeman, but essentially there's one line in the film. He says, "Looks like they bought a knife to a gunfight," and it was a little feel in a way that you know, England's reliance on seamen. The seamers did pretty well. But it seemed like the wrong makeup of attack on the wicket we had.
They did really well.
They
I mean,
did.
there've been matches where seamers have got nothing, you know, and they've still brought seamers. So I think, you know, it wasn't a terrible selection of those.
No, I don't think it was the wrong makeup of the attack at all. I mean, Cost still took 2 wickets in the second innings, and Potts got 1. I disagree with that.
I'd be interested as well. That
it
the
will
stat.
be interesting to see what we do in the third.
Yeah, that stat,
This
by
is
the
an
way.
excellent summation of the match where we're all disagreeing with each other quite on almost every
Well,
point.
well, I'm not sure we
glorious.
are. I think in some cases
I don't think we are.
we're agreeing. What I think is interesting, and I shall go away and find out because I don't have it in front of me.
Tony, was that deliberate when I
What?
said we're all disagreeing
And
you
you
said,
went,
no, I don't.
"No, I think we're absolutely
don't think we
agreeing."
are."
I completely disagree that we're agreeing. Or the other way around. I
Yeah.
completely agree we're disagreeing. Right, where was I? No, I'm now confused. The stat,
There's no
yes, the
correct
interesting
answer to
stat. How many times have two bowlers taken 20 wickets between them? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's happened. I'm thinking maybe 56, Old Trafford. I mean, certainly Laker and Locke. I can't remember how the wickets, though, in the first innings were
Dan
distributed.
tells me it's 1972 the last time it happened.
Oh, brilliant. Can you, if you've got
There you
Dan's
go.
amazing,
Well, yes, Dan's
capacious
we don't
knowledge
have the
there.
stats. The tweet has been, you know how the tweets come and they go into your feed and then next time you select them, they've vanished. That's what happened.
All right. Well, it has been done. Oh, but it was 1972, and we tweet out later when, what, and by who.
I mean, it's not going to be the West Indies, is it? It's probably India. Let's say it was India.
Well, you just can't just make it up. let's say it was Scotland. I don't know. It could have obviously never having played a Test match. That's pretty unlikely, but there we go. Right. Well, it has been in a curious kind of way quite fun, in a sort of a suicidal way. The way England went about things.
Hang on, just quickly out of can we, just after this point, I'd love to get into India, but out of interest, guys, have you preferred? I know England lost, so that might change your opinion. But have you preferred this Test match over the first one, or what have you preferred more? The flat, record-breaking first Test match, or the spinning?
Kat, do you want to take that first?
Hectic second.
That's very difficult. I think I prefer. I mean, I definitely prefer this one though. Now, I don't like it when batters just bat and bat and bat, and you have a whole day of batting. So I'm a little bit biased to a more even bowler-friendly kind of test where lots of wickets fall and batters don't get 300. But you know, that was fabulous, wasn't it? The triple.
You always want the ball to be ever so slightly on top. But Tony, I don't know if you've got any thoughts.
Yeah, I think they were both massively entertaining. You know, I think there was a lot of criticism of the first Test up until the point at which England broke the records just because the track was so placid, the outfield was slow.
Yeah.
Everything we know that kind of led to this. I still think those records that were broken, the enormous stand between, you know, the fantastic knocks of Root and Brook. I think just for the result and the way it came about, it was 5 days. I found it magnificently entertaining. If I was a neutral, I would say this has been equally entertaining, but in a completely different way. I wouldn't necessarily choose between them. I think the subplot in this test of the pitch and the Pakistan selection committee changes, who they dropped, who they brought in, there was a lot going on contextually around the action for this match that gave it extra intrigue, and it played out. It could not, if you wrote the script from the PCB and Shan Masood's and Dizzy Gillespie's perspective, you simply could not have executed to a script better than they have done. But for all of those reasons, it's with the intrigue linked to the cricket, linked to the 20 wickets for the Noman Ali and Khan. Shadid Khan.
Oh, I've got that stat for you too when you want it.
Just magnificent. So I'm not going to choose between the two tests. Very great tests for different reasons.
Very diplomatic of you.
Yeah, we got some more tweets, but first of all, yes, Kat, give us that stat.
So it was not India. I mean, we were guessing it wasn't India versus Scotland either. It was
the royal
Australia. Australia versus England in England. So it was an Ashes series, 1972, and it was Bob Massey and Dennis Lilly who last
Lords,
took
was that
all
Lords?
20.
Well, it must have been Lords then. It must have been Massey's Lords. Can you just check with Dan if that's the case? If he's still there?
No, it was a tweet that didn't specify which ground.
I'm pretty sure it must have been Lords.
It was. I think you're right. It was
had
Lords
to have been
because
Lords
that
in
was
72.
Yeah.
Right, a few final messages. We're going to see you on Sunday, by the way. we are sadly not Kat, because she has work the next day and it's the middle of the night, and well, frankly, Australia aren't going to be in that final. But we promised to be there, so
That just makes it more fun that Australia are not in it. That makes
we
it so much
will.
more fun.
I have to say, gorillas, any gorillas listening of a female persuasion, we need some female coverage, please, supporting our commentary team for that. Right, Muttley said, "Woof, morning primates. Chose the wrong time to wake up. Love and sausages." Chevron Philip, today was day 4, so time wasn't an issue. I believe that shot selection focus was England's downfall. Yes, agreed. Shot selection and focus, Shervon, I beg your pardon, Shervon. And yes, we agree with you. There was another super chat from Messers saying, "Is this the place for an argument?" And was it the 5-minute argument, or is it the full half hour? I think we've done pretty much the full half hour, haven't we? To quote the great Monty Python sketch, you're absolutely right. Lurgle, as he's paid for the right to be called today, has told Muttley he can head back to sleep now. Yes, he can. Right, so Pakistan have won by 152 runs. We've loved bringing it to you, as we always do. Thank you for your support. Thank you if you're a patron. Thank you if you've super chatted. Thank you if you've joined the GPL. Thank you if you've just listened. It has been great to have you with us. Kat, thank you, as ever.
See you at the next one.
Yes, we'll look forward to that. Billy, thank you. Thanks to everyone else.
Thank you, Tony. Can't do Sunday, but I'll see you next week.
You won't see us Sunday. Oh, that's a shame.
I can't, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm busy.
Oh, c'est la vie. Okay, we shall see you next Thursday. Oh, we'll see you on Sunday. Take care. Bye-bye.
Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. We would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Saville, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Che Guevara,